About remembrance of God, you don't need to dig very deeply in the Bible to discover how important it was to remember God and our guidance in remembering God. Just look at the first commandment. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. So that's heart, soul, and mind. You must love God with all three of these attributes, all three of these organs of the body. And this love of God and remembrance of God is not just to be done when we remember ourselves. The mind, the heart, the soul, these are all remembering God involuntarily and eternally with this spiritual system, with this mystical formula beating in the heart. This is the way that we can carry out this first commandment of God. Love God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy mind, all the time, through night, through day, when we're sleeping, when we're working. This tick, tick, tick through your heart, through your physical and spiritual heart, will allow us to remember God eternally. And then, the beautiful thing is, I'm going to do a reading as well from the Gospel of Thomas, a beautiful reading from those esoteric scriptures of Thomas. They're so beautiful, they're so engaging, and the benefits. I could talk about benefits of heart enlightenment the whole day. Another benefit is when you read these Gospels, they just spring out to you from the page, and that's section, that little segment of divinity that we have just comes out through your eyes, and you absorb the words from the scriptures and they resonate in your heart. And when I read the Gospel of Thomas, the feelings that I get are just overwhelming. And I'm going to do a little extract from the Gospel of Thomas a bit later. Let's just talk about this heart now. Okay, most certainly in the Gospel of Thomas, there's always, Jesus always talk about finding God. Now, this spiritual process, this is how God will find us as well. This is a way that we can make our hearts shiny. When God looks down onto the earth, looks down onto creation, he's not looking at the bodies, he's not looking at the actions of the bodies, he's not listening to the words that are being spoken, he's looking at the hearts. This is a spiritual process that God looks down on his creation very regularly, and he looks for those shiny hearts. And this is the way that God can find us, can know us, can connect with us. And this is a reading from the Gospel of Thomas. This is after the disciples asked Jesus. They asked Jesus, "Show us the place where you are, for we must seek it. Show us the place where you are, so we may seek it." And Jesus must have been thinking, well, why look for God? Why you can shine your hearts and God will find you? Because Jesus answers, "Any here with 2 ears must listen. Any here with 2 ears must listen. Now, there is a light within a person of light," which jumps out to me as meaning that once you have that enlightenment of the heart, once you are a person of light, then you have that light within you. Your heart is shiny. Your spiritual heart, the organ that God gave us to connect with him, is shiny. So you're light, and within you is light. So Jesus is quite clearly answering to those with ears, 2 ears, listen. There is light within a person of light, and it shines on the whole world. Well, this light shines on the whole world. Once this heart has been enlightened, it shines on the whole world. And if it does not shine, then it is dark. So this is very much to do with the consciousness, this darkness that we feel, this unattachment that we feel, this restlessness that we feel before our hearts are awakened, before our hearts